Welcome to Lamb Living. My name is Holly Lamb, and fall is beautiful here on St. Simon's Island in South Georgia. But these pictures are for some of my friends from where they live up in the more northern part of the country. This is what our fall looks like. This is last Sunday. We had church in the park out by the St. Simon Sound. There's my son running sound. And there's a big table of lots of food. We have a big covered dish dinner. There's my family, Hope and Chandler. And there I am with Kevin and Aaron. And the Lord even blessed us with a rainbow on a perfectly clear day. But this is what Halloween is around here. There's no fall leaves. We don't have, you might find a vine or two in the bushes and in the trees that has started to turn colors, but for the most part, our live oaks and evergreens stay green for most of the year. And so my husband Kevin and I always enjoy putting out some blow-ups for the fall holidays. And so there's the blue house on the corner. We have a lot of fun. And also my church has a pumpkin patch that the youth sell pumpkins as a big fundraiser for all their mission trips throughout the year. So that's what fall looks like here on St. Simon's. So I thought I would get on the trend of getting a little light cover, a little glass or porcelain light cover, and make it into a ghost. So here we go. I found that one at the Restore. This is, it was $1, but our Restore always has either 30 or 40% off on Saturdays. And of course, that's the only day I go since I teach on regular school days. And so because I'm a teacher, I always have Sharpies. Sharpies are in my school bag, my purse, my desk at home and at school. And so this black Sharpie is all I needed to create this darling little ghost. And I kept it simple. I just kind of kept adding to my little eyes and my little mouth. So cute. Tried to get it as straight as I could, but it's a ghost, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And so, ooh, scary. So I take my little Amazon find. I found these little timer tea lights, and I put 3 under there so it would be nice and bright. And so we could see our little ghost. It's underneath the television, so we can always enjoy a little flickering ghost. There they are, on a little book stack of aged books I picked up at a thrift store. So there's our first DIY, as simple as that, and so cute. I just love it. All right, now the main thrust of this particular video are JRV, Jami Ray Vintage, decoupage papers and a rice paper. And I'm going to be taking them, just showing you random things from my stash. That's a stamp I got at Hobby Lobby. Here's the rice paper I'm going to be using. And then here is the decoupage paper, the 30 by 20, 18-pound decoupage paper that they have. They have great prices on their huge decoupage papers. And this was a lot of fun. It's the Halloween one, which I don't know if they still have that one now or not. Of course, it is Halloween, so it's, time to move on. But I'm going to be highlighting some of these. Do you see that price right there? 000. I've been kind of watching Brenna's Bargains, one of the YouTubers here, and she always tells what the penny list is for certain Tuesdays of the months. And a lot of things at Dollar General, they'll take a particular color dot and they will put it on the penny list after so long that they've tried to, buy one, get one free, and they've clearanced them, and then they go to pennies. And so I'm going to be using a lot of my finds throughout this year. I always keep Brenna's Bargains on my notifications and check out her videos. I've linked her YouTube channel in the description box below, so maybe you could find some amazing deals. It's such an exciting thing when you find all these pennies. So I'm using the Waverly Snow White for these because, of course, if you've done any decoupage, you know that your papers are just going to look better on a white base. And so I'm using the Snow White here. And I do take one of these little signs and paint it in the plaster, which is really my favorite because it matches my house, the way I decorate in my house. The white in my house is not really a bright white. It's more of not an ivory, but it's just a little off-white. And so there's all the Snow Whites. These are all the blanks that I created from all my little pennies and 10 cents and 30 cents from throughout the spring and summer. I've been doing penny list shopping. Okay, there's our little plaster. That little leaner is been painted in the plaster chalk paint. Of course, I get all these Waverly chalk paints from Walmart. And you can see when I bring the plaster, I always get the bigger one because I go through the plaster a lot faster. And so that's plaster, and I'm going to set it right there on this slate piece. I got it at Michael's for $2. And you can see the slight difference. Yeah. So that plaster is really the white that I choose. All right. So now I've cut up all of my decoupage papers. This particular paper has it in squares. So it's almost like it's ready for you to put it on, blocks of wood for, little shelf sitters and tier trays and wherever you're going to put it. I'm redoing the hutch in my dining room, so I'm going to be using most of these in there. But I think the slate piece that I got from Michael's, I'm going to be having that in my dining room or in the kitchen eating area. And so look at all these. I mean, they're just such a variety. And some of them are overtly Halloween, and some of them are just cute fall decor that I can keep out till Thanksgiving, even though I plan on starting Christmas pretty quick here. So look at this one. This was probably the biggest image on that decoupage paper. Now, these are not rice papers. These are a 18-pound paper, so it's not super it's not tissue paper by any means, and it's not napkins. It's a pretty tough little paper, so I use my brayer, and I've never had any problem with the brayer tearing the paper. It always just makes it better. See how I'm just kind of pushing out that fold where it came folded in the mail. I order these from Jami Ray Vintage.com. I actually have their app, is what I usually order from when I order from them. Yeah. So look at this pretty little angel. I think it's an angel talking to an owl sitting on a little crescent moon. Very sweet. All right. So let's see what's going on this one. This one is a little kid holding on to a jack-o'-lantern. And as a teacher, I know how excited kids get at Halloween time. We do all kinds of fun things. I do lots of Halloween-themed music themed lessons in October. We just got finished with a major minor listening and using their ear to figure out keys. And that was a lot of fun. They enjoyed the minor music. Now, the brayer has really changed my decoupage since I got that set right there. I use the biggest one mostly. I got them from Amazon, and what was that, $8.99? It was a really good buy. I use the biggest one mostly, but I have used the smaller ones on occasion, so it's a really nice set. And there we go. We got a little witch with that one's actually a little creepy. It's got something about a bleeding heart. I don't know. But I'm going to be using 3 finishes on all of these little shelf sitters. I even got, if you're a Dollar General shopper, you'll recognize that little cow. There was, I think, a pig and a rooster as well. But I just decided I was going to try the cow. So I just made sure the word Halloween was going to be on his body. And we got a little bit of that moon and a little bit of the fence. And so, of course, I'm putting it on top as well. I'm using matte Mod Podge, as usual. And then I'm going to let it dry thoroughly. And then I'll use my nail files and the sanding blocks from the Dollar Tree. The nail files I'll order from Amazon in bulk. And there we go. But the brayer is great for getting out bubbles. And as long as I keep my brayer dry, it will not tear this decoupage paper. I have to be a little more careful with napkins, but this paper has got a nice weight to it. Very nice. All right, now you're going to see this leaf. That first leaf I did, the paper was bigger than the leaf. These next two, the image is a little bit smaller, so after I let it dry completely and I take my nail file to clean it off, I'm going to take the little pieces that I file off, and I'm going to touch up those little tips, so all that white is hidden. So I'm going to wait. Yep, I'm going to wait until I'm finished, or until it's dry, And so wait a couple hours. It doesn't take long for this Mod Podge to dry. And so I'm just cutting little relief cuts with my scissors and my little X-Acto knife. And I got that pack of scissors at Ross, and I got a really good buy. Don't, when you're in Ross next time, go back in the back and check out, it's near Toys. There's always a craft aisle, and they really have some nice deals, especially on paintbrushes and scissors and things like that. You can get some nice items back there. There we go. Of course, the X-Acto blade, it comes in a set of 3 from the Dollar Tree. There we go. Now, I'm going to I keep all my little cuttings and my little shavings right there in my tray, and I'm going to just take as much of just plain blue and plain kind of off-white cream to fill in those little tips on those leaves. Those leaves are from Hobby Lobby, and I got those on half price, of course, earlier on in the season. I don't think they have them anymore. Those were a hot commodity this fall, and I really enjoyed them. They're just so pretty. So pretty. There we go. And it's like we never even had to worry about piecing it together with that cute little witch with the blue background. I love that blue background. So cute. All right. Just using little bits. And then, of course, I'll let that dry completely, and I'll finish filing so it's the completely perfect image of that leaf after it dries. And I'll do the same for that one. Okay, now I'm going to do 3 different finishes on my shelf sitters. This one is a super matte Mod Podge. We all know that matte Mod Podge, you see here, has a little bit of a sheen, but this super matte, it doesn't at all. I got that at Michael's, $9.99, so it's a little bit more expensive, but it is a true matte, and that is really saying something because we all know that the yellow label matte Mod Podge still has a little bit of a shine to it, and I really have enjoyed this super matte. I like a matte finish. Some things I like gloss, but for the most part, I prefer a matte finish. Now, this also was from Michael's, this little slate piece. It was part of their summer collection, and I got it on the 80% off aisle. So I wanted to be able to see that slate. So I didn't, if you noticed on my painting white, I didn't paint all the way to the edge. I left a little border of the slate. And I think it just complements this little sweet picture of this owl sitting on the little crescent moon with an angel, a mermaid. I don't know what she is, but they seem like they're having a sweet conversation. Okay, now these guys, I'm going to be using clear wax by Waverly, also from Walmart. And the clear wax, I'm not going to do what you normally would with a white wax or an antique wax. I'm going to pretty much just brush it on in this kind of haphazard, circular way, and I'm going to let it dry exactly like that. I want that little bit of texture on there, and clear wax will also dry with a matte finish. It might have a wee bit of a sheen, but it's a beautiful finish, and it's a textured finish, which is what I like about clear wax. Clear wax is good to have in your crafting stash for if you overdo it. So pretty. I can keep that one out for Thanksgiving. If you overdo it on the antique wax or on dark waxes, you can come back in with clear wax, and it acts kind of like an eraser. All right, now here is the third finish I'm going to be putting. It is the Mod Podge Crackle. And this, and then of course I'm going to follow this up with the antique wax to bring out the little lines and fine lines and crackles. See on my little cow, you can't see the fine lines and crackle yet. But just wait. When I wipe it off and rub that antique wax into those cracks that I've already put on there, I put the crackle on real thick. That's the trick of crackle, is you put it on thick and try not to overwork it. Now look at those cracks. Fine, little, tiny creases and cracks. Oh, goodness, I like that look. So pretty. Now here, this little witch kind of did her sides as well. Look at that. Look at that crackle. Pretty. Very nice. And I'm going to do that to this little guy and also to the little hot air balloon pumpkin, I guess. And they are going to be so rustic and so beautiful. I love that crackle finish. So those are my three of my favorite finishes right now, is the Super Matte Mod Podge, the crackle with the antique wax chaser, and then of course the clear wax. Those are some of my favorites. You know, I love white wax, and I want to white wax the world because I think it makes it look just gorgeous. But these three have been a lot of fun to play with as well. And we'll get the white wax out here in just a minute. But look how cute she is, riding her little broomstick for Halloween. And then that was my stamp. And I can still use that stamp. It's a wave. I got it at Hobby Lobby on the clearance aisle. Yep, and there's our little witch and our little pumpkin hot air balloon. Nice. All right, now these little cubes here, I'm going to be putting the rice paper on from JRV. And I'm going to be using DIY's Liquid Patina in Crystal Clear Chandelier. It's their decoupage medium, their clear decoupage medium. And I'm going to be just covering 4 sides of this cube. These are the little wooden cubes that you can get at the Dollar Tree if you're lucky. I got several when I finally found them, and I have been really enjoying these. So I'm just going to go ahead and put my rice paper on. And rice paper was what we used in the oyster shells for my daughter's wedding for the name cards. Because when it gets wet, it kind of conforms to however you want it. So I'm just kind of bending it down around. I'm going to end up shaving that off with my nail files, but it really conforms and is pretty cool. All right, so I am going to go ahead and dry that with my heat gun. And then I decided, instead of putting 4 sides of pictures, I would use some of my antique music paper. It's not antique, but it's antiqued in that it's been around a long time. I didn't do anything to this music. It was just perfect, just like it was. And music in this house is a staple. So it's kind of like a neutral around here. We have music everywhere, me being a music teacher and my husband being a music minister. So we have lots of extra music on hand. All right, so I'm just going to cut that out. And since I already had pictures on either side of where this music is going to go, I wanted to kind of get it close so I didn't have to do a lot of filing on the music. So there goes the liquid patina, nice and even. But now this music is a little bit thicker than the rice paper, but it goes on beautifully and looks great. I just love it. I end up putting music on the back of most of my shelf sitters that I'm using today in today's video, because I can always see, like these right here, the little mason jars and this, bird and the little boxes and things. That just turns into neutrals for me. I could put a Christmas transfer or a beautiful spring floral transfer on the back on top of this music, because I'm, going to decoupage it on so it'll get a nice finish on top. You always want to put transfers on finished pieces that are sealed. That's best practice. And so we're just going to go through the same thing. I wanted my front and my back because I do have a few on the dining room table, so I need it to be, look nice on both sides. Now here are these little guys, an acorn and a pine cone. These were the silver ones from the ceramic collection from the fall line. And what I did is I just put 3 coats of the Snow White on these. And then I'm going to take the Dries Clear Wood Glue by Gorilla, what I got at Walmart. And it works perfectly for this type thing. I don't even need, because this is easily going to sit on top as it dries. It's not going anywhere, so I don't need to put any hot glue on it. And so I just put the wood glue, and the next day it's ready for waxing. So there we go. I can turn it any which way. All right, it was a beautiful day outside, so I decided to do some waxing and some sanding outside that next day. So there's the clear wax. And again, I'm just going to, with one of those chippy brushes from the Dollar Tree, I'm just going to kind of swirl and push that wax into all my little cracks and crevices on these adorable little ceramic pieces. And they look so cute on the little rustic book stacks. Now, those bottle brush trees I've had since July when the fall stuff first came out. I grabbed those up fast because I wanted as many of those candy corn and the ones with the black ombre kind of looking bottle brush trees as I could get my hands on. And so I decided to go ahead and make some bases. I am going to do these in plaster because they are going on my hutch in the dining room. I'm going to use 2 different styles of the salt and pepper shakers from Dollar Tree. And that's a Taco Bell mild sauce container. Now I do have a few of these doorknobs from Hobby Lobby and from the clearance section. And look at this beautiful one. Ooh! I decided not to use any of those on this project. I'll probably save those for Christmas projects. There we go. Now we're going to use this from Dollar Tree, or excuse me, from Dollar General. And I got that for a really good buy in some after, season sale. And so they're all just going to get a coat. This one just needs 1 coat. This is a salt shaker that was all by itself at Hello Goodbye, and it just looks so sad. But it was, I think, 50 cents a quarter. I don't know. Did I show you the price? I can't remember. It was pretty cheap because it was all by itself. And it doesn't have a cork in the bottom, so it needed to be something else. Now, these little guys, these little caster cups, Dollar Tree is carrying those right now. And I just showed you that one. That was from Walmart, and it was about $5 for a set of 4. So it's a really good buy if you can see those kind of in the household wares aisle. They're selling those caster cups. At least that's where I found them in my DT. All right. So I'm just going to bring out some of the raised areas on these little jars. And then I'm going to white wax, which Waverly white wax, of course, is a little bit of an ivory color. And then I will show you after I finish wiping back the white wax. Yeah, I'm just getting off the dust. There we go. After I finish wiping back the white wax with a light hand with the paper towels, I'll show you what I started with and then what it looks like distressed and then white waxed. And you can decide if you like one better than the other. I got to tell you, I like them both. So I'm just lightly dabbing back a little of those raised areas. Not much. I wanted to leave some white wax on there. And there we go. On the right, I haven't done anything to, just the 3 coats. And on the left is distressed and white waxed. I like them both. Alrighty. Now, the nice thing about salt and pepper shakers is they have holes. And some of them, like in this big salt shaker, it's the bottle brush tree base fit right down in one of those middle holes. And so just a little bit of hot glue. And you see I'm using the crystal clear hot glue sticks from Walmart. And I'm using my Sure Bonder, which is it has 2 temperatures. And I usually use the very hot. And just try to be careful. But I have to hold it there for a second to make sure it, cools off. And then I'm going to take this kind of satin ribbon from the Dollar Tree and then that pretty lacy ribbon from the Dollar Tree and cover up any of those jars that have you see like that Taco Bell mild sauce jar has the little places where the lid goes. I want to hide that. I'm not a big fan of that part. But the other salt and pepper shakers, I just left the tops on because they look great. I just painted right over them. So I decided to put one of those caster cups on the bottom of the Taco Bell jar. So I distressed it just a little bit and put some hot glue inside. And that's going to hold it nice just to give it an interesting base. Something different. Maybe it won't look quite as much like a hot sauce jar. I like the mild sauce myself. All right. And I'll just put that right down on top. I love the little black, orange, and white. So cute. And so I just wrap around the little top part there on the bottle, and I love it. Okay, now this little guy, he's kind of small, so the holes in the top of this one needed to be just ever so slightly bigger. So I thought maybe I could kind of use my scissors to open them up. But I went to grab my Phillips head small screwdriver from the Dollar Tree, and that did the trick. Just kind of banged it with my hand, and the bottle brush tree went right down in there with just a little bit of hot glue. It was ready to go. Oh, look how cute. Oh my goodness, these are so fun. So I just have lots of different heights, and it just makes my hutch. You can see that my hutch is kind of that off-white plaster color itself. And so the plaster looks a little bit better. I just use that snow white as a base for decoupage. There's my little cow. I gave him a little buffalo check ribbon. I got that from the Dollar Tree as well. You can see his little Halloween. So cute. So fun. And there's the other little castor cup I put on top of one of the salt shakers. Darling. So much fun for Halloween. Yeah, so as we get some trick-or-treaters in today, we'll have all ages and shapes and sizes and costumes, and we'll smile and tell them to have a great night and be careful, and if they're my students, I'll tell them I love them, and it'll be a lot of fun. I'm enjoying fall right now, and I want to leave you with a couple of scriptures for the season. Joshua says, "Choose for yourselves this day whom you will serve, but as for me and my household, we will serve the Lord." And then Paul says in the book of Romans, "Do not conform any longer to the pattern of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." Oh, this is such a fun time of year. Cute little ghost. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll hit that like button if you liked the video. There's Andy Griffith on the TV. And hit that subscribe button. I sure am thankful that you came along and watched with me. So from the Blue House on the Corner, expecting lots of treats and no tricks this Halloween. God bless, and I'll see you next time.